Hey guys, so today I want to point you towards one of the stocks that I think could be one of the biggest gainers in 2020. And for what reason do I think DraftKings could actually grow so substantially? Well, it's all in the numbers here. If you look at their 5-year graph, you can see that they're actually a very young company and only started in around late to mid 2019. And what this means is that a lot of their price and value still hasn't been decided by the market, and a lot of investors are very bullish on them still growing in the short run. Now, if we look at their latest press news and releases, we can see some of the reasons why their graph looks how it does and why their growth is so substantial even through these tough times with the coronavirus. Now, if you don't know, DraftKings is a company that allows sports betting through online, and one of the best things about their platform is that they actually offer advice on how to play certain events. And instead of simply allowing you to just lose money nonstop, they try to recommend you what to do and how to actually earn money through the platform. So a lot of people are very, very excited to sign up for the service and use it because of the extra investor knowledge that they do offer on every event. Now, if we look here, you can see that their reports for the first earnings, they actually grew 30% despite COVID-19 continuing to drive their sales downwards and more people starting to stay home, etc., etc. They still were able to grow very substantially in their first quarter 2020 results. Now, another thing that we can see here from these press releases is that they've been opening new casinos or online casinos, what they would call it, in US states. For example, Pennsylvania on May 4th, Colorado on May 1st, and a lot of other places like South Africa, United Kingdom, and a bunch of other places have been opening new sports betting casinos with DraftKings and other companies. So essentially, what they own right now is not even a fraction of where they could open in the years to come. You can see that they also opened up Sportsbooks app in Iowa and a bunch of other states that haven't traditionally offered these sports betting and betting options are allowing DraftKings to come in and set up shop. And this has been pushing up the stock incredibly in the last few weeks to months. If you look at their 3-month chart here, you can see that they were ultimately not affected by the coronavirus at all because they were such a new stock. You can see that they fell all the way to around $17, and if you did buy it at this price, you got a steal because they're now up over 100% from this price. So what would I recommend you to do to profit from this company? Well, as you can see here, I'm actually putting in all my buying power on a $40 call for around July 2nd. If the growth rate continues on this company, they should be able to grow another $10 in the next month. However, I don't expect them to keep pushing up this incredible motion. However, I would expect around $5 more to $6 more of price action in the next few weeks here to a month. So that's why I bought this contract, because if it even comes close to being in the money, like I've said before, the price of the contract will push up. And this contract is only worth around $90 right now and hasn't changed in value for about the last week or so, even with all this price motion. So what that means is that you're still getting a good price buying into this contract as opposed to some of the other ones that are closer to in the money. As you can see here, a lot of these contracts even gain 10 to $20 in a single day, as you can see from last Friday's closing. And if you're holding some of the contracts more out of the money, you can even stand to gain more. Now, a lot of smart people, or a lot of people who want to take on more risk, could potentially buy a contract that's already in the money and just gain on it and gain on it until the time when the contract is about to expire. So before the contract becomes a weekly, then you could sell out. So for example, you hold from this Tuesday to next Friday when the market closes and then sell out. And I guess that's what a lot of people have been doing with this company, because as you can see, the weekly options are moving very, very strongly. However, I would say that the strongest play of them all is to simply hold a contract that is a little bit out of the money. However, it has a lot of time till expiration. This way, if the company does pull back, which is what you can usually see with these companies that don't have a set value and instead are moving a lot based on speculation, then you can still have time to gain from your contract and don't have to rely on a strong weekly move. As you can see here, a lot of these contracts are almost at the same value. For example, the 30.5 and 30 are literally almost $10 apart, whereas this one is 20 and this one is 10 as well. So there's a lot of good opportunities to buy in at a strong price level, at a strong contract price, without having to go too far out of the money in order to buy cheaper. So which one did I buy? I actually went all the way up here to the $40 one for around 95 cents. And what I expect to happen is that if this contract pushes to around $35, you can see that the 135, which is $5 out of the money, which is like 10 rungs out of the money, and this one is not even 10 rungs out of the money, so it should be worth around $180 to $200 when the contract does reach this price, especially if the price motion of the stock is very strong and there's a lot of volatility and people really expect the stock to keep pushing, or more news comes out in the positive direction. Then my contract will be genuinely definitely worth more than the $200 mark, because of the fact that more investors will be in the market and more people will be watching this stock and be more bullish on its options. Now, that's why I do think that DraftKings will keep increasing, because of the fact that they're gaining more customers on a daily basis. And as more and more people are forced to stay home as with the coronavirus, they have a stronger customer base growing and more consumers that could possibly join their platform. Now, in around the last week or so, I actually did create a DraftKings account just to try out and see what it's about before I recommend it to you guys. And I honestly have never done sports betting before, but I'm very happy with the service, and I was able to see how the UFC bets were affected by the coronavirus opening and things like this. And I was very curious to see how sports betting actually worked and to see if it was actually a profitable industry. And from what I can see, yeah, it definitely is a profitable industry. As always with these casino type businesses, the house generally wins 9 out of 10 times with these type of sports betting and betting in general. So yeah, DraftKings has a very strong future ahead of it, and as more and more people realize this company exists and start buying in, you can see that their price even hit all the way to around 30.50, which if they do come back to these levels in the next week or so, I feel that they can continue increasing more than that and more than that, as people have been very bullish on them, and you can see that every time they've dropped, they've rebounded very strongly in the short time after. As you can see, they hit 27.50 and then rebounded all the way back to 29.50, and hopefully soon around the 30.50 mark and $35 mark, so I can keep holding my contract and keep cashing in on this volatility that makes options worth so much. So yeah, guys, keep an eye out for this company because it could be one of the strongest gainers of 2020. As we've seen with other companies such as Wayfair and Shopify, these online businesses have simply nowhere to go but up, because of the fact that so many people are home and because of the fact that so many people are bored and looking for new hobbies and things to do. So yeah, guys, as always, leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more news, and good luck making those profits.